Lewis Taylor has been spray painting graffiti onto cement and brick surfaces since 1995. He started as a teen in Virginia and continued to develop his skills after moving to Chicago. Taylor spends most of his free time painting on blank walls outside and working on canvases in his new art studio. He says for him, the best part about graffiti has always been looking at it.
Like ever since I was a kid, it was cool to see it. It was like inspirational. I'm like, that's cool. Like how'd that guy do that, you know? And now it's the same way. It's like it never ends. But now it's like when I do it myself, it's like I surprise my own self with it because certain things I do is like I never knew I was gonna be able to do them.
One of the things he appreciates most about graffiti is that artists always manage to find a way to leave their mark.
We're very resourceful. You know, I could paint with anything. You know, even if I didn't have paint, I could come up with anything.
Over the past few years, various graffiti artists have taken their resourcefulness and lended it to a very destructive form of tagging. According to David LaPola, owner of the graffiti removal business Guardian Glass, they purchase bottles of glass etching cream from craft stores that is meant to be used to do things like etch a name onto a wine glass with a stencil. These graffiti artists, however, are putting the acid into shoe polish bottles and leaving a permanent etching of their names on storefront windows. They're also using rocks and sharp metal tools to scratch their names onto the glass.
It's not really very good for anybody. I know a guy that's got locked up and he's got to be he's doing some time for that actually. Because he did mad businesses and they charged him for like everything.
At least from what I have seen, it's not really any kind of an art, it's just defacing. You know, it's just drizzled down the glass, which really causes, you know, the defacing of the front windows. And in the Ravenswood areas where you have a lot of retail, which have a lot of window glass square footage, that's a canvas that gets, that gets hit.
While the city of Chicago funds a service to blast traditional graffiti off of brick and cement surfaces, they don't offer anything for glass tagging. To counter this issue, the Ravenswood Special Service Area 31 is offering a rebate to area property owners to repair their glass and prevent future damage. The graffiti abatement program reimburses 75% of the cost of removal and 50% of the cost of film installation or glass replacement. Over the past 3 years, Rebecca O'Brien has been called in to take on several jobs connected to SSA programs.
For acid, graffiti, and scratches, we go through this process of buffing, where first the buffers kind of grind the window down or scratch it all up, and then after that they go through with a series of more fine pads and buff and polish the window with a special solution too, until it looks clear again.
Once the glass is cleared of etching, a protective transparent film is applied to protect the windows from future harm.
It's been great for me. I think it's hard for business owners to justify spending the money to clean up graffiti when they feel that they're just going to be tagged again, down the road. So because these programs are around, it makes it an easier decision for the business owners to make, and that helps me do more work.
So we put kids through college, you know what I mean? Like we pay these people's salaries out here. We're paying the graffiti blasters. Every time someone goes out there and writes on something and the city has to come and remove that, they're getting paid for that. And people's tax dollars are going into that, which is just really counterproductive.
Putrich says the program hopes to get to a point of accomplishment where the graffiti is completely erased, and that by installing the film, they're helping to prevent it in the future.
If we've done 10 buildings, those 10 buildings then probably should stay clean this point forward. I think in our work plan, which is what we submit to the city, that kind of gives an outline of what our goals are for the year. We're targeting to try to get 50 businesses in 2012 to take advantage of the graffiti removal program.
Taylor, however, says that he doesn't expect the problem to go away ever. He says removing the tagging is not enough, and that the real solution starts deeper.
What really needs to be addressed, I think, is the motivation. Like why are these people going out and doing this in public? And it's because there's not a program for it. There's no program for it in the city. It's not an issue for them. But they build a skate park, you know what I mean? And now people can go skate there.
Taylor says he tries to make the most of what small space there is to paint. He finds legal spaces by introducing himself to business owners and asking their permission to use their buildings. The owner of a corner cleaners in Bucktown was happy to welcome his graffiti to a blank door on the front and an entire wall in the back.
We were the first people to ever paint that wall, so that was cool, you know, because I stepped to him and I was like, what's up, can we do this? He's like, do I have to pay for it? I was like, nah, man, we just want to get busy. He's like, go do whatever you want to do that. I was like, cool. Came out, primed up the whole wall, called the homies, came out with some ladders and just got busy.
Taylor says graffiti isn't illegal unless it's done in the wrong way or at the wrong place. He says the community needs to educate themselves about the art so as to recognize that not all of it is tied to gang activity and vandalism. He says even more importantly, artists need to recognize what positive things they can do with graffiti before recklessly tagging their names across town.
More artists should be taking into account what they're trying to do with it, really. It's like, you're not just going out there to do something for yourself, you're going out to do something for the community. We love our communities. You know what I mean? I love being able to say that I'm an artist from Chicago.
For Journalism 301, this is Valerie King.